This evening we got Johnny Van Holt. He's better known as Johnny Liberty. Johnny is the author of the best-selling Reclaim Your Sovereign Citizenship, published by Cascadian, is it, Jim? Cascadian Resource Center. He is a whole system educator, researcher, and network organizer offering a comprehensive and detailed history of law, economics, and policy. He's taught hundreds of seminars across the U.S. of A. for thousands of American citizens from all walks of life. Please join me in welcoming Johnny Liberty. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, here we go. Sorry.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight for another Granada Forum. Fortunately, I got here tonight without any incident and wasn't dragged out of my car or any other possible thing that could happen. Even though my last trip to California, I did have my car impounded 2 times in 3 days, and I did have a difficult time getting where I was going. But this trip has been without incident. So I thank you, Southern California, for allowing me to get here to address you tonight. I hail out of Oregon, and I'm an Oregon state citizen, a sovereign citizen of the Oregon Republic. Thank you. And I began this work not that long ago, about 3 years ago, and I had attended a workshop of a man who was talking about money and how money systems work. He actually was a black man who had studied the Emancipation Proclamation, who was also an Oregon state citizen, and he began to open my eyes to some of the historical facts that had been neglected and ignored in American history. And it piqued my eyebrows and my interest, and I said, oh, that's very interesting. I want to find out more for myself. And so over the course of the last 3 years, I have participated in in-depth research and study and education, and have synthesized many of the independent researchers that have been involved in this patriot movement for 30 or 40 years. And that's the source of my inspiration and the source of my inspiration and information as well. So I want to acknowledge everyone who has come before me and those who have blazed the trail, many of them who may be sitting in this room right now, who may have been involved in this work much longer than I have. So thank you very much, everybody, for your contribution. Now, tonight, the title of this talk is Reclaiming Your Sovereign Citizenship, and I use that as a broad subject to talk about all kinds of things, including sovereignty, citizenship, American history, and how political, economic, and legal systems actually work. Now, as Ralph had mentioned in the introduction, my background is as a whole systems educator. So what I'm able to do is take very complicated material and articulate it in such a fashion that people can actually understand what is going on. Because most people, unfortunately, not necessarily the people in this room, most people don't have a clue what is happening in this country. That they get most of their information from the media, or they get it from the newspaper or the television, or they learned about such and such in their history books or in their higher education, but unfortunately didn't really get the whole picture. So tonight, I would like to provide an overview of the research and the education that I've discovered over the last 3 years, and present it comprehensively for all of you so that I can inspire you and empower you to take the next step in this whole movement of reclaiming our sovereignty, restoring our citizenship, restoring the republic, and correcting a lot of the problems that we have today in America. So we're going to cover a lot of material tonight. We're going to look at sovereignty and what that is, because what I have discovered is that sovereignty is the key concept around which all political, economic, and legal systems revolve. And we must get a deepening understanding of what sovereignty is in order to embrace the possibilities of rediscovering America, in fact. We're also going to look at citizenship and the distinctions thereof. Now, I'm sure we've had many other speakers here that have addressed these issues, Richard McDonald and the state citizen people. But for those of you who are new, please bear with us. For those who already know, we're going to review these things and the distinctions of citizenship that exist in this country, and how it was 220 years ago, and how the sovereign citizenship has been encroached over that 220-year period, and what historical events happened through the course of our history where today, in 1995, we wake up and our sovereignty and our citizenship is a memory, a distant memory in most people's minds, except for those who have recently reclaimed it and are once again drawing that line in the sand and placing a limitation upon the government. We're also going to look at political systems and how they actually work. What really goes on in Washington, D.C.? Who really is directing and controlling the United States government, because it isn't the people that you've elected and it isn't the president, but it's the creditors of the United States that actually direct it. And we're going to look and see how it is that the political system is related